Tell me a little bit about yourself in terms of professionally, who you are.
My career started off in 2017 as an intern at Shutterfly, an intern over there, an engineering intern. And then after getting my degree in 2019, I graduated from San Francisco State University as a CS major. I joined in Aruba Networks as a high-touch engineer. It was more of a software intern job. It's where my eyes got open, and kind of that's where I saw, knowing that this is the reality of me now being graduate. And people, I love to explore things. I love to kind of see what other people are doing and joining that app level, and knowing that how well the company is, how diverse the company is, and they value my input to any certain thing that we are doing at a very initial level. I have the leverage. I have been given the light to kind of go in, and if I have to take initiative, I take initiative and kind of bring it up to the team, and my words are valued. So that's where I was like, okay, I made a good decision. I always heard about, hey, if you go to a startup, you don't have a life, you basically are thrown off, and you are always stressed out. You probably kind of end up being kind of depressed, or like kind of because of being me not knowing the industry so well, right? But it turned out to be a lifesaver for me. I was put into things that I felt like, okay, this is something that I didn't expect it, but it basically nourished me throughout my journey, But that's where I learned how well things are in terms of when you put in some that hard work and kind of motivational things in terms of how passionate you are to grow yourself. Because when you're under the trenches, that's where you find out how to get out of the trenches.
I really loved how you articulated high touch in Aruba, high fast pace in App Lemon, it being a startup, a perception. You talked about many things, and it appeared like you talked about things that were, if I were to put it in two categories, things within your control and things outside of your control. What do you think, if you were to self-reflect, what were some of the things that you did, things in your control that helped you succeed?
What worked for me was a catalyst that obviously everyone has, but depends on when it kind of triggers. I think it's more of, for me, it was a do or die situation in terms of me starting my career and learning things off the bat, and putting in some extra hours after work. Because if you want to grow, the formula for growth is you have to self-teach yourself to kind of be one step ahead of the game in terms of your growth, your exposure, your skills in terms of troubleshooting things out. You have to put in some extra effort outside work as well. Rethink of what you have done throughout the day and what you can do better in terms of like a personal or an individual contributor outside of your own expectations or job responsibilities.
So how did you develop this thinking, and how do you follow up on this wisdom?
Yeah, you see things, you get fascinated, you get inspired by a lot of people, and there are many people that I got inspired with looking at them, watching how they kind of have moved in their career. Like, it's not, I would say, just celebrities, but like people, like everyone talks about Elon Musk, everyone talks about Jeff Bezos, everyone talk about those successful people and what their actual routine is, So if you just kind of sit back and brag about, oh, they got lucky and things came into their way just because it was the right moment, and I have to follow someone to see where they at right now and how they got there. I was reading one of my favorite book, which Rich Dad Poor Dad. So get that inspiration, and then that's where you kind of know that if you didn't got something in life, which wasn't in your control. Obviously, I wasn't big enough to kind of get that things on my own because of the family, obviously, right? They made me where I am today to help me kind of get the best education, where I always envision myself and kind of following the people that I really get inspired with.
How would you inspire, let's say, high school students or college students to break through all the noise, like you said, with social media? There are many people you can follow. You could follow people who make it seem like it's all fun and games, and you can also follow people who, like you said, and many more, to make it very transparent that this takes a lot of hard work, this takes dedication, this takes being smart, using tools and things like that. How would you inspire high school students, college students, and maybe honestly even some working professionals? How would you inspire them to kind of have the mindset that you have?
I think when I was going through the same phase of being in high school then being in college, I looked up and realized that obviously every single thing that you mentioned isn't true on social media. People make it look so easy that you kind of get into that fascinating world of, oh, this is easy, I can probably get it. But when you try to get it, that's where you learn from your experience that this is something that isn't there. Like the results are not quick enough. You have to put in some effort. So people, like young people, I would just let them know that, hey, just focus on the things that you like and love about, and things will come to your way if you have a good intention. I feel like a good intention is the key to realize what you really want to do, because that's where you will get the elite amount of motivation. Okay, and obviously Almighty will help because you have a good intention. One more key for new people or new generation, that assume that you don't know nothing, because if you try to assume
Right.
everything, that's where you kind of get into a pit hole where it's just a loophole. You can't get into it, you never get out of it.
True. The more you think you know, you're not going to grow. How do you develop your leadership skills? How do you develop your presence out in a meeting, in a social setting, in a professional setting? How do you work and develop those skills?
Always keep a mentor, either at work or as a someone that you know that will always guide you in a good way. And I try to sit with people that are into the industry or are old enough in terms of their experience, their age, to kind of know and listen to what they have to say. And I think leadership is something that you can also, it's a skill as well, and it's also as a you kind of are in nature as a leader as well. So I'm not a natural leader, but sitting with leaders kind of give you what they think, how they approach a problem, or how they communicate, how they kind of balance off their stuff to make sure that they are confident enough in their mind, I would say, but wherever they are, in terms of like kind of preaching out and communicating. It's no harm in asking, I would say. It's no harm in asking. Always ask, hey, do you have like quick 5 minutes to kind of sit and kind of guide me through, what do you think, what do you envision, how to solve this problem? So when you ask a leader to how they approach a problem, then you start realizing, okay, that's how they think, and that's how you would think in future when you get an opportunity, if someone asks you how to do it.
Do you want to compete with the mediocre, or you want to compete with the best of the best? Money can be a very sensitive topic, and if someone, a decent friend, comes and says, hey, can you give me $8,000? How would you say no to that?
First, listen to them out. Like, I think hearing a problem, hearing a situation, actually hearing a question kind of solves all of your answers that are in your heart. So if someone comes in asking me for a good amount of money, I would first see what relationship I have. Obviously, if it's my mom, it's my brother, things that they are really in need, it will show on their face and in their voice, in their facial expressions. So first you kind of have to hear them out, and if it's something that is really in need, then I think money is a secondary thing.
Absolutely. How would you tell them no?
I think being honest is something you should be throughout your life, and I think if it's a no, it's a no. And if they ask why, then you tell them the reason.
Do you end up practicing these kind of scenarios but for work? So at work you might have to say no to protect your boundaries. Do you practice these things?
I usually don't say no. It depends on my boundaries. If it's out of my boundary, obviously it's a straight up no. But if it's someone like a peer to me as an employee, like a team member, I always say, let me help you with it so that you can learn and you know it for the next time, rather than just helping them out straight and then them coming to me after 3 or 4 times, 5 times, or maybe documenting something for them so that they know if they come to me, I won't say no, but I would always give them a documentation. Hey,
the biggest thing of all was having good intentions. I really love that, and it's captured in the book in a different way, but I really love how you brought it down. Have good intention. That's what I've written down here. That's how I would summarize a lot of how you're thinking in terms of telling people no or whatnot, getting them to feel safe. Those are things that I talk about in the book. I talk about with my clients as well.
just thank you for your time as well. Always love talking to people that are doing and are supporting the community with good things. And I hope and I wish best of luck for the book as well.
Thank you.
And soon it will be a bestseller.
Thank you so much. Yeah, stay tuned for the book. Thank you so much, sir. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.